Grizzlick?
Nothing new on Grizzlich. He's not here, not practicing. Doubtful for tomorrow, obviously. Bergie's a maintenance day. Fully expect he will be in the lineup. Well, he will be in the lineup tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach, you've already said that you expect the best game out of your top line. Is that, just from a gut feeling or from just your knowledge of their history? And secondly, what's prevented them from really getting going yet in this series, 5-5?
It's both. I know them well enough now of seeing them how they've performed in the playoffs. They'll eventually get to their game, and I believe it'll be tomorrow. And then what's prevented them from getting there? I think you got to credit the opposition. Done a good job against them. Predominantly the two D-men. They got long sticks. They're mobile, smart. So they've killed a lot of plays. Forward group, I think whoever's played against them, been Shen. It's been 2 or 3 different lines have done a good job tracking back so that they can't make a lot happen in front of the D. Those guys are usually pretty good off the rush if there's space. I thought they've done a decent job down below the goal line, had a few looks, haven't gone in for them. So I think that's the other reason I think they'll get going is eventually they will go in. So that's kind of how I feel it's going with them. They're looking forward to the matchup tomorrow, whoever they get, and be ready to go.
Back right.
Hey, Bruce, just what we saw at practice, just a thought on who might replace Grizz and having also Vakanainen out there today.
Well, we wanted 8 in our group, and it's good for Vac to get around this, this time of year to be involved, and that's a little more about filling out practice and him getting a taste of what it's like this time of year. He's part of our future. Could be our immediate future if we get more injuries, or down the road. That'll play out. But and then it'll probably be Johnny Moore. He's a left stick. It just keeps everything simple in terms of pairs and on their strong sides. But we'll make that decision in the morning. I'll let you know for sure then, but that's the way we're leaning.
Back center.
Yeah, Coach, you just talked about the fact that you believe that top line will turn it on tomorrow night. Have you seen anything in their body language on or off the ice that gives you that confidence?
I think today they all come in good spirits. They're ready to go. They know they need to be better. They've admitted it. We've gone through some video with them. Hopefully it'll help them with certain tendencies St. Louis does. And again, that's just my feeling. I'm sure St. Louis will have a lot to say tomorrow about keeping them on, in check, specifically from their goaltender. So that's just the way I've seen them play out in the playoffs. So I feel they will find their game. It's not too many times this year, regular season or playoffs, where they've been quieted for long. So that's just why I believe they'll have a better game. Now, whether they finish their plays or not, like I said, they've got a good goaltender, and he might have something to say about that.
Second row in the middle.
Bruce, you tried something the other night that we don't see a lot. You pulled the goalie with 1.2 seconds left in the second period. First of all, what's the maximum amount of time that you would try that with? And secondly, what's like watching develop, just hoping that the worst doesn't happen, it goes all the way down the ice?
Well, we've done a face-off, so we had the center win it clean to a D behind it and take a slap shot down the end and kind of time it with a stopwatch, how fast. Win a clean draw, first of all, and then one time the puck, I forget who we used, whose shot it was. If it was mine, then we got to click off a little. We got to take a little time off that, but I think it ended up at 3 seconds. So we feel in a perfect world, anything 3 or under. Now, you're at the mercy of the guy hitting the button to start the clock, so we're not going to do it at 3. But I would probably do it anywhere from 2 or under or 1.5. So I didn't think they'd have enough time to clear it then. So that's the thinking. I don't think you can get much harm done, and really maybe once in a blue moon you get that extra player helps you score. But we got scored on, I know it was around for a long time against LA in overtime, so it's 3-on-3. Less bodies in the ice was 0.9 seconds. So that's, I guess, and that was to shoot in, obviously, the net right in front of us, but won it clean. So I still think it's probably 3 seconds would be if the guy's on time.
Back center, Sergey.
Coach, anytime there's lineup changes for your team or the opposition, we use the term next man up. Just how difficult is it for somebody to step in there and be ready and add a boost to the team, and how much do the guys sort of rally around that?
Well, I think for our team, our guys are so inclusive that they're going to make that guy feel, welcome, first of all. Coming into, obviously, either team this time of year, coming into good lineups. So teams that are playing well, that play well as a team. So I think that certainly makes it easier. And then it's on the individual, I guess. See if he's the type that's, a little more laid back, probably a little bit easier this time of year. If he's nervous, well, for obvious reasons, right? I think whoever goes in tomorrow is going to have some level of nerves. But Johnny Moore and Steve Kampfer have both played in the playoffs. Steve Kampfer went in and McAvoy's suspension and scored a big goal for us. So he was ready to play. I think it was 5 minutes into the game. So Johnny Moore's been in. He's played playoff hockey. So I think either one of them will be fine. They just got to get their legs on them, get a feel for St. Louis. It's a different team than we've played, and that'll be the biggest challenge is figuring out your opposition when you've watched them but haven't lived it yet.
We're gonna do 2 more questions, right side, 4th row.
Hi, Coach. Are you any worried about the puck possessions in the second game from your team, and how important do you think the puck possessions is for Boston Bruins at this time?
Very, and I think it is for them. I think it's something they do well, and they got going. It showed in overtime. They got us, they fatigued us. They recovered pucks quicker than we were able to get to them. Got a little bit, out of position or late recovering. Now they had the extra man on the ice, obviously from delayed penalties, so that helps. But in general, their first goal, even though it went in off our stick, was again their puck possession. It's how they play. They're good at it. I think in game 1 we had it a lot. They ended up chasing us a lot. They never established anything. So, I think if that's the tale in hockey, pretty much every night. There's the odd game won't go your way when the other team's opportunistic. But if you have the puck most of the night and you got good players, I think you're going to win. And so I think both teams are after the same thing. We've got to do a better job winning our races to pucks. I don't think we supported it very well the other night in the neutral zone, so as a result, we were stretched out. We never really got our attack going consistently at times, but not enough compared to the first game, and that's what we're going to try to correct.
1 more front left.
Bruce, your team is really good at making those east-west passes in the offensive zone. You had 5 power plays in the last game. You ended up only with 23 shots in the game. Do you think you need to shoot more?
Yes. I think we force plays too, EJ, that we don't typically do. Give them credit. They have good sticks. They played our bumper, we call Bergie in the middle of the ice. They played him tight, and I don't think we adjusted well enough to what was available. So we've looked at that, worked on it a little bit today, see if we can get a little more movement to open up some seams. We've used Pasta on that elbow a lot, where we get a play from Torrey or Marsh if they're moving. That got shut down. We focused on the entries a lot, and that's why we've been one and done a little bit. We've also scored 2 goals on entries. So some of that is instead of setting up, we're willing to attack, so you lose some old zone time. So I will say that will always affect us. Carolina was the same way. We tried to score in the rush, so some of that will take away from your sets. But again, I give them credit the other night. I thought they did a real good job, and we forced way too many plays, and as a result, you're doing wind sprints all night, going back on pucks.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
We'll have Tuukka Rask here.